What's up, everybody? Welcome to Wits In Podcast. I am your host, Devin Witt, alongside my bobblehead co-host, Joe the Show.
Let's get with it.
Man, I feel like it's been forever since we potted last, but I'll tell you, life has been happening, but that did not stop the world from continuing on. So without further ado, some crazy things happened in my algorithms. Don't know about yours.
No,
Oh, okay.
perfect,
So
steady, easy life.
look, I'm just gonna say it like this. Donald Trump got found guilty on 34 counts of being a bad guy.
So
The only conclusion that you can come to whenever it comes to a guy like Donald Trump at this point, if you're paying attention to what NBC and CNN have to say, your only conclusion is that he's a loser.
I haven't followed it much. I mean, it's like
bankrupt, having,
spit it out.
uses his kids for nepotism. I don't
He
know.
ain't
I don't
going
even
to jail
know what
over
to
it.
say. Like,
People's worried about him getting charged. He's not going to jail over it. I'd be shocked if he. I'm not saying he's not, but I don't think he will.
they have to.
Well,
They
I don't
have
know.
to put him in jail.
I don't think that they care that he even goes to jail. I think the whole purpose of it is like, great, he's a felon, and then
Yeah.
certain felons, there's political office you can't hold if you have certain charges. I think that's probably more so what they're so concerned about. Yeah.
I don't even think it's that. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head a little bit there. You're right. I think they want him to be a convicted felon so
Right.
they can say he's a convicted felon. And so whenever they go to have these debates or debate, I think there's only going to be one this year, which is kind of mind-blowing, whenever we're talking about electing a president of the United States of America and you only got one debate. What is going on?
They needed this to take away from the whole agenda of the world during the month of June.
I posted this super funny meme of like a dam, and it says May 31st, and then behind it's like a river, but it's made out of a rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
And it was super funny because it was like, May 31st is kind of holding back
Man,
Pride Month.
well, yeah, right. I was thinking about, I shouldn't even say I was thinking about this, but I had this because we talked about drag / LGBTQ several weeks ago or last week. I don't remember when it was. Either way, we talked about it, and it dawned on me, you may not understand this and maybe you haven't seen the pictures, but in the, I would say 80s, 90s, maybe a little earlier, maybe even later, but there's these pictures of what a prostitute, a hooker would look like. And typically it's slender woman, tight, some type of leather pleather, makeup. Yeah, you already probably know where I'm going, but it's this just god-awful amount of makeup.
Fishnet leggings.
And then, exactly. The fishnet legging, you're like, that's a hooker, that's a prostitute, definitively. And then I don't even know why, but after that conversation we had about the LGBTQ, specifically drag queens, I started thinking about it like they look like an 80s or 90s hooker.
Man, so they're like 20 years behind the curve.
Well, yeah. And I mean, so like of all the stuff you come up with, to dress like, it's a hooker.
But in fairness, though, you have to think about it like this. Makeup and special effects can only do so much to make a man look like a woman.
Yeah, it's like
So-
what? The stupid mental illness that people have, body dysphoria. Is that
Yeah,
right?
dysmorphia.
But they basically, and if I'm wrong, please correct me. You overly obsessed with your body. You stare in the mirror, you're like, oh, I'm ugly or I'm fat. And I'm like, no, you fat.
Yeah, for
That
sure.
mirror ain't helping you. The mirror says I gained like 10, 20 pounds. Camera, yeah, you did. You put it on. Like, no, you're ugly. Just accept that. That's okay. Like people say, oh, I'm bashing the people that has a mental illness. No, you ugly. You can stare in that mirror all you want. It ain't going to fix ugly, and it ain't going to fix fat. It ain't going to fix whatever problem. I'm just saying, like, you're overly obsessed with your body. Like, you're not the only one that's a mental illness, obviously, and this is far from anything to have to do with Trump. But, so we kind of just ran down this little rabbit hole here.
Mental illness.
Yeah, like, well,
That's what half the country has whenever it comes to this guy. I don't know what it is. I've never seen a situation like where someone who's like, the justice system is rigged. We can't trust it. White people are bad. but then they're praising white people who are using the justice system against an American citizen. So it's like, are you really that upset over the justice system, or are you just trying to play the virtue signal card and, oh, look at me, I'm on the right side of history? You know what I mean?
I don't know, because I look at it as like if they charge Trump with, I haven't looked at all the convictions. I've quit following stuff in some degree with the media, excuse me, because it's kind of just got like, you don't really know. It's like not so much truth and error, I guess. Just so much of it. You're like, reference Joe Biden or Hunter Biden in the laptop. You're just like, come on, how many times we got to hear about this stupid thing? Just charge him or not.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the same thing with Trump. It's like so much and much and much of it. I think it's a big deal now because he's in the spotlight, because he's trying to run for president again. But it just got so much where I'm just like, I don't even care to follow it anymore. And then you can't miss it when it's kind of the headline news because he got charged.
Yeah, I mean, number one, the first question you have to ask is, who does this benefit the most? Do you think Donald Trump is benefiting from this more, or Joe Biden?
Well, I don't know, because I don't think the people really give a crap anymore. I don't think they look at it and like, oh, he got criminal charges because he did something on his taxes. Like, big deal. Okay, he got charged. What about all the politicians out there doing the same thing, and Biden included? I don't really know, because the people that's voting for him, I think they see through this anyway. I would like to see him get elected to be president again, because the choices are just two. Yeah. And it's not because everybody's like, oh, you're a Trumper and all. No, because what I'd really like to see him do is become president and then grant himself immunity.
Yeah. Well,
that's what I want to see happen, just because he's the type of arrogant, he would do it. I'll just do it. And I assume he can, but I don't think it really affects the votes per se, because I think people that are voting for Trump see through the government's facade, and they're sick of being led. Like, I guess the reference would be sheeple, whatever. They're tired of being led, astray. It literally like the blind leading the blind, literally with Biden. But you can't. I mean, what's your choices? That's the thing. We dealt with this whenever it was, Hillary. Like, what do you do? It's a lesser of two evils. Same thing with Obama. It's just like, hey, you got two pieces of crap. Pick the one that smells better. And it is what it is, man. Yeah. And I'm not. But I don't really favor Trump to that degree. There's things, but the thing of it is, with any president, let me say this: there's any president, there's going to be things that I probably don't 100% line up with, and Trump is more lines up with some of the things I believe than the other. Which it wouldn't matter, if it was him or somebody else. So that's who I vote for. And the stuff that Biden's doing, it just proves his track record, And I just don't even know if it, besides what Trump brings to the table or not right now, I don't even know that Biden's competent enough to go another 4 years.
Well, he's definitely not, and that's why it concerns me with him picking Kamala Harris again as his VP, because it's like, oh gosh, like with her as president, I would rather have Joe Biden as president than her. But that's just my opinion.
Because she's black?
No, it's just because I think she's a complete idiot.
Well, because she's black.
No,
I know. I'm joking. People think I'm joking here. Like, oh, you're picking on the black people again.
Pin me down.
No, I get it, because she's already had failed attempts with immigration and gun laws and stuff. I mean, we go on and on about that.
But that's one thing, though. I think this was a failed attempt. I think whenever you're trying to smear this guy as convicted felon, all you're doing is pushing him further into the oppressed, quote unquote, arms, because there's a lot of people that feel oppressed and wronged by the justice system in America. And so when you see a presidential candidate be wronged by the justice system, you can't help but think about, hey, this is a guy I'm more so aligned with, because I've been wronged
I can
by the
tell
same
anybody
system.
Right now, especially if you're the sitting president, I can tell you how to get reelected again. Pretty much a shoo-in. Stay out of church's business. That's number one. Make it very clear. Freedom of religion, we're going to honor that and stress it. Let people worship whatever they believe. I mean, whether they agree with certain denomination or certain religion, whatever. That'd be number one. Number two, legalize marijuana. I'm telling you, I personally, I will state my stance. I am not for, no, I'm not. I'm 50-50 with making it federally legal. But I'm telling you, from a vote perspective, if they do that, they're going to swing some huge votes, I believe.
And
because
cancel student debt.
And that, because here's the thing of it is, the millennials are a big number to be gained. And, if they're throwing that money around like that, you're right. And that was going to be my third one. Those three things, I say win election. I think it would put a big dent in votes.
Either that, or how about this? I'll trade out free college for free childcare. So if you're a working parent who makes under a certain threshold of money per year, you don't have to pay for your children's childcare.
There's already things kind of in place for that. There's assistance, but the thing of it is, the assistant guidelines, you have to be piss poor broke. I mean,
you're literally at home with the children, and that's how you qualify for the assistance. They're like, yeah, dude, just go get a job and we'll pay for your childcare. That's a different story.
Well, it is. I mean, the thing with the childcare, it's bad because we'll say X parent makes $2,000 a month or $1,000 a month. We can work part time, or I'll go to work so I can, to pay for the daycare. Well, that's the problem. Most people, unless you're, big corporate job making some money, most people, say
It's
a part time job, whether it be Walmart, fast food, whatever it may be, they're work a month to basically make $200 or $300 extra, if that, by the time the child care is paid for, because child care is just ridiculously expensive these days.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, I'm not saying all, I would say generally, the care that you're paying for is not worth it.
In most places, yeah. And
you're spending $1,000, $800 a month for a kid to go to daycare. What are they getting out of it? You get their butt wiped in a meal? Like, and the thing of it is, most of these daycares get assistance from the government anyway, regardless of what they're getting anyway. So it's like, and then they come in, we don't pay. No, you can pay people more, a private daycare, whatever. They're saying, what are you teaching the kids? Like, it's kind of the same thing. See, the problem of it is, it's like the same problem of it is in the public school system, public, is the teachers are underpaid. So that's basically excuses. Well, we'll just do a halfway job, because we don't get that paid that much. Well, it kind of seems to be the same theory. I don't agree with teachers' pay, but guess what? I'm going to tell any teacher this that wants to confront this. Granted, I will definitively tell you, I do not agree with teachers' pay. I think you should be paid more. But you walked in there, you took the job, you knew what you signed up for, you knew what you were getting paid, so shut up.
So
fight for it. Do your things to try to get more pay. I'm not telling you that, but like, quit sitting on the sideline complaining and being a crappy teacher because you ain't think you're getting paid enough.
I definitely agree with you that there's like a level of responsibility that individuals need to have for themselves. Of you knew when you accepted the job offer what the rate of pay was, and hopefully you did your due diligence and calculated your bills to know whether that you can actually make it by taking this job. And then there's the counter argument, which is, but they should still be paid more, and 100%. But then you also have to look at it from the sinister perspective, which is this is being done on purpose. I would say any country that does not invest in the education of their young people and workforce, they're a bad country that's doomed to fail.
Well, yeah, I agree. I mean, you can look at that from a couple perspectives. I do look from a military perspective. If I had to weigh in, if we got into some type of global war right now, that this generation could defend it, I would say no. What are they going to do? They complain, sit on the sideline. They're shooting at me. What did you think? We're in war.
Half of us are deplorable rednecks who support this guy. How can you support him?
I guess.
Now, the point of that being is that's kind of part of the problem, though, is that we're being polarized in such a way that it demotivates people. Like, for instance, more and more we're being told as young men that if you don't have status or wealth or some type of killer social media account, you're not worthy of being dated.
Right. Well, it's society, man. The society screws with our generation of kids. Here's the thing. Get a college degree. And I'm going to tell you what college does. People. and I'm not the only one that's coined this. All it does is weed out the freaking lazy people.
Yeah,
Because college is not designed for the go-getter, the motivated person. I'm going to make this happen regardless.
yep.
It's not. It's not made for that. People argue all they want. It's not made for that. It's made for the people that. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I'll do what you say.
Yeah,
Give me a
very
paycheck.
disciplined.
Yeah, and so, but you look at talking about the world. Look at the military. The same thing. Like it's not what it was. It's changed. And you look at a minute ago we were talking about, we'll say religion. We'll just it's not the right Christianity. We'll look at religion in general. The definition is so gray now. I don't even know how anybody could find their way to whether it be Jesus, whether it be Allah, Muhammad, Obama, whatever you worship. It's so blurred right now, and the waters are so muddy with what people's teaching. It's like, how do you find your way? Like as a Christian, yeah, you could say, okay, the Bible. I mean, I get all that, but so people understand what I'm saying. Like you got, even in Christianity, you got one saying this, one saying this, one saying this, and I'm not even saying they're wrong. But the thing of it is, you got one doing act is doing it. They're all over the place, man. It's the same thing, and I'm saying that because it's so confusing in society. You look at college, you look at religion, you look at how to raise a man, how to raise a woman. Look at what our society teaches. Oh, you got a penis between your legs. Used to be a man. I mean, but see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I
20
do.
years ago, I hope you can
definitely
understand the
were.
pun.
Yeah.
But that's what it was, and it's not like that anymore. It's so freaking confusing, man. It's like, I'm going to be a girl today. Well, no, I want to be, I think I'll be little Johnny today. And then the next day you're pissing in a litter box because you want to be a kitty cat. Like, that's what our generation, that's what this generation is up against.
And in some ways, I kind of feel like religions are like algorithms, in the sense of, depending on which algorithm you follow, you're going to be shown different trends and different environments. And what's concerning to me is that, it used to be all the algorithms were shown to you. You knew Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, whatever. Mm-hmm. But nowadays, it's all become personalized. Mm-hmm. And so I saw this insanely crazy story. It went viral on Twitter, and this lady is basically explaining how her and her husband were sitting next to each other. She watches a video about some chick who's waiting on her boyfriend, and she makes like 30-minute interval videos of, oh, he's still not here. Mm-hmm. She goes to the comments, and it's all these people saying, how dare he not communicate with you? He's a piece of trash, etc. Flip it over to the men's side. She sends it to her husband, and he goes to the comments section, and it's the exact opposite. And we're talking like you're starting at the very top, and so we all assume that the most popular comments are the ones that pop up at the top. But that is not the case anymore. What they've done is they've changed the algorithm to, based on your preferences and your standards, different comments will rise to the top instead of what is just objectively the best comments.
Yeah, I have mine set where it's like newest, oldest. I want to read it in order.
So what's bizarre to me about that is, where does that lead us? I think it leads us further into a delusional society, because how does everyone gauge how effective or good or funny or bad a video is? It's always been by the comments. Like, if you watch a video and you're like, ooh, man, that was kind of an edgy joke there, let's go to the comments. You go to the comments to see how do other people feel. And most of the time, you would look at that and be like, okay, yeah, but that's what other people think about this. Now you can kind of factor in bots and stuff like that, and that's a little bit of a different conversation. But overall, you're like, this is what people think. But you can't do that now, especially if they're changing the algorithm of comments based on what you like and don't like, that.
So we start doing Google reviews on churches.
It probably wouldn't pop up, man. I mean, if you think about it, like it benefits the companies and the individual content creators who want a
I
certain
don't think anybody goes look.
I don't know. Maybe this generation does look at Google reviews. Like, hey, I'm looking for a Baptist church in the community or Methodist, Mormon, whatever. Like, let's look at Google reviews.
No, how
No,
that
I mean,
works.
everything's messed up in society, you know, and I do believe that it comes from the home first, but churches second or probably first. It's confusing, man. Like the churches don't even got this stuff together. They say you can practice one thing or preach one thing and say another. I don't care. You know, I've seen this 100 times over. So you're getting a sermon for the day. You know, like we talk about unity. We talk about being joined together as one. And I'm telling you, we're not. I don't care what church you go to, you're not. You know, quit fooling yourself with trying to preach to yourself over and over and hope for the best on this. And I do hope that it works out in the end for people and churches in general. But we don't. Unity, and that unity, we could break down words. We can make it Greek and Latin and Arabic. I know all that stuff. The unity is what we miss in the Bible, and everybody wants to go, I come to church on Sunday, well, that's not enough. Unity is, you know, whenever you're so tight with these people that, you know, you're concerned, you're genuinely concerned so much that whenever somebody across the room is like, yeah, my mom, she's in the hospital, or, you know, so-and-so passed away, that you're so close to these people that you're crying with them because you feel the pain. That's unity. That's being tight. That's part of the body. When the body hurts, your freaking arm hurts, your whole body. You know what I'm saying? That's what talks about the body of Christ. And you're so in tune with the body, the people, that you hurt with them. You cry with them. You're going to be down on your knees praying with them because you understand the pain. We don't do that. We don't do that in churches today. We don't. And there's a couple reasons. One, because, we don't, personal business. Two, too much gossip. You tell somebody something, they're going to run with it and tell so-and-so, and, you know, whatever. And I get that, you know. And the thing of it is, and it's hypocritical. Well, I've been hurt by the church. Man, shut up with that. That is an age-old, probably been said since Jesus walked. The church hurt me, so I'm not going to church no more. Anybody that says that to this day is a fool. You're making excuses. I'm not going to say you're a Christian, you're not a Christian, but it's an excuse not to go to church. And I'm going to explain why. You walk into a doctor's office and he gives you a shot. Maybe he gives you the wrong one. Or you go to he just keep it simple. He misdiagnosed you. He's a bad doctor. He's stupid. He doesn't know nothing. Okay, well, next week you'll go out and break your arm. Are you going to say, I'm not going to the doctor no more because I had a bad experience? No, you'll find a different one.
Yeah.
Okay, so church, same way. I mean, I could give analogy after analogy after analogy. You know, you go to a bank or you have a bad experience at this bank, and what you do, you change. You go to a different bank. You know, you don't quit going to a bank. You don't quit going to the doctor.
Yeah, you don't quit using the service.
And so, same thing here with churches. You know, quit using that excuse. It is the only one thing that I know of on the face of this earth that people will use that excuse. Well, they're made up of hypocrites. Yeah, they're made up of people just like you.
So how much worse is this going to get as we progress into this new age of everything is personalized?
Well,
including the comments.
Well, but see that I'm not trying to divert. I can come back to that. But you see how just what I talked about. I spoke to the unity for a reason, because look at where the state we're at in the United States of America. There's no unity, whether it be black and white, black to Asian, black whatever. You know, white to Asian. Hispanics, we've got wars against black people right now. I say internal wars as far as racism. Oh, that's not good enough. Let's spark it up between the white people and Hispanics. That's why they've got so much stuff going on the borders right now. We need to keep that crap stirred too before an election. There'll be an election pool. Watch it. But they keep that stirred with no unity. Then we look at the divisiveness in the churches. We look at the divisiveness with just in general to the families. I can't even go out and do certain things to animals without spending time in jail. Okay, but yeah, I can kill kids. I can castrate them. You can give them, cut their boobs off. I'm putting it just plain as can be. See, if we had the unity and we had this common bond, we had this common, and I'm not telling you it has to be based off Christianity or any even type of religion, just some common ground where it's like, the old saying, why can't we all just get along? Yeah, why can't we just get along? Because you got too many people that's got a self-agenda that theirs is so much better. That's why you have the problem with LGBTQ. That's why you have a problem with drag queens. That's why their ways are obviously better, and they've got to make us compromise to them. That's not the way it should work.
Well, really, the biggest problem is at the end of the day, you're 100% right. Remove religion out of it, And the moment you do that, you realize, oh, we still have so much in common with 99% of the population. But for some reason, the 99% is totally okay with listening to the 1% of people who are like, hey, you need to pick up a gun and go shoot that guy because we said so. And if we could stop that mentality of killing each other because a guy told us to, do you see what I'm saying? And that's part of
Yeah.
the problem. And now, I'm not saying that there's never been a justified battle in history. I'm not saying that at all. But unfortunately, time after time after time in today's world, we get duped into it. It like the event didn't even happen. We were tricked into going into war. And so think about that. Countless people dying because of a bold-faced lie. That's whenever it gets really difficult, and you have to ask
Yeah.
yourself, okay, then how do we get out of that? And the only way to get out of it is people have to find the common ground. But you can't do that if you're in a divided society, black versus white, Democrat versus Republican,
Yeah.
poor versus rich, et cetera, et cetera. It's sad because it's that easy. Like, if I'm the guy at the top telling you to kill each other, it's that easy to keep you divided. I'm sure it's a lot harder than what it looks.
Well, our
But
government,
they make it look easy.
look at from a religious perspective. I don't even know that it matters in Christianity. One of the things that Satan's known for is the author of confusion. And the Bible clearly states from a Christian standpoint that that's not God's doing. He's not the author of that. Light, honesty, truth, all those things is what Christ would stand for. Now, I say that to say this. Look at what's coming down from our leaders of our government. It's not light. It's they cause diversion. I don't care, people. Wake up, people. Our government is fueling. I didn't say causing. They are fueling these diversities. They keep this snowball building and building when it comes to homosexual issues and race issues, especially those two. They keep this just rolling and rolling, like, oh, we're starting to lose some traction. Oh, let's let them cut their penises off and make that legal. That'd be good. Let's start making. Oh, let's do it to minors now as well. Oh, let's let it snowball a little bit more. Now we got to make sure if you do this, you'll go to jail for it. Same thing with black people. They keep this. Oh, BLM. Oh, that wasn't good enough. Let's let another black guy get killed by a white guy. You don't see the black people shooting black people, which we know it happens. But what does the media want you to see? What does the government let you see that fuels that? It's the white person shooting the black person. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm not taking away from it. They're sowing this discord. They're sowing these things in our minds, but in our young people's minds, they're making white people hate black people. They're making you resent black people for what they stand for because of the crap that's being put in the media. They're making you hate Christianity because Christianity defies what against homosexuality, and there's so many homosexuals coming out of whatever room they're in, and they're coming out. So it makes you hate them because, or it makes you hate Christianity. One of the two. You have to pick sides. The way that it comes out from a legal standpoint, you have to pick sides. Love the homosexuals or hate Christianity. Love the whites, love the blacks. Pick one, because I'm telling you, that's the way our laws are starting to get made, is to cause segregation.
For sure.
We're getting set back.
Now, okay, here's my hot take on that, though. I would say it's mine and your generation that's the only one that's falling for it. I think the old people are too old. They don't care. They're like Joe Biden. They try to keep up with the times, but they like naps too. I think it's mine and your generation that has been the most duped by this, because I'm pretty sure younger people today, I'm going to say between the ages of 5 and 15, probably actually have a pretty good idea of what's going on as far as the spin and just like, what do you mean men can be women? And the point of what I'm getting at is that they're young enough that they saw how addicted their parents are to their cell phones. They see the kind of mental strain their friends have because they get on social media apps or they're gaming till all hours of the night. And I think it's making them not want it. And I think it's making them say, no, this is BS, and we're going to stand up to it. I think a lot of the videos get suppressed, but you'd be shocked at how many videos out there exist of young people standing up in a classroom, calling their teachers out, calling the LGBT student out on some crap that they're trying to spew, and saying, "Nah, that ain't gonna fly."
Well, it's not enough. It's not enough.
No.
There may be people that's starting to do it, but it goes to what I said earlier about the government. My point being with what I said about the government, I believe that this government is more so being ran by some type of satanic thing more so than a godly thing. And, the thing of it is, you talk about the kids, younger generation state. I think it's the same thing what happened with the LGBTQ community type issues. And, with the BLM, this Black Lives Matter nonsense, stuff like that. And I say nonsense, I'm not talking discrediting black people. I'm talking about BLM in general. That people, it was talked about so much that people still try to support being the black people and being against racism, get it to stop. But they got so sick of that nonsense, like, I don't want to hear it. I don't care anymore. Just leave it. I don't want nothing to do with it. And the same thing with the LGBTQ stuff, the drag queen stuff. It's just so propaganda in our face. People just like, and again, not that they don't like homosexuals or they do or they don't. They're just like, I'm so sick of hearing it. Like me, I have my stance, but my stance is even getting more hard because I'm like, I'm sick of seeing this everywhere I turn around. It's not because I hate homosexuals. I'm sick of seeing it. I'm sick of turning on the TV for a kid show and there be some stinking drag queen on there. My kids don't need to see that. Well, no, you don't need to have that crap on there. You ain't your responsibility to teach my kids what's right and wrong. It ain't your responsibility to teach my kids what a drag queen is or sexuality or anything else. So no, it don't need to be there. Keep that crap off the TVs. Keep that crap in your world, in the real world. In that real world, we should be protecting the young kids' minds, innocent minds that's left in this world, to hopefully come up with some better solutions. These freaking clowns we've got doing right now, because they can't. For my lands, this generation is going to have to be the saving grace of the United States. It's the only hope we got left.
Could you imagine if our government put in half as much effort as they have into dividing our country as they did into uniting it, what this place would look like?
I wouldn't even know what this country would look like if they could come to an agreement and keep the debt ceiling.
Yeah,
to deal with the debt ceiling, a debt crisis. Let's deal with Medicare. Let's deal with Social Security. Let's deal with, you name it. You see what I'm saying, man? Like,
is it possible to imagine in America where you walk out your front door and you see a black guy or a Mexican or an Asian or whatever, and that's no worries about, oh, is he going to think I'm racist?
Let's be real here on this podcast. That's not what people think. Whenever you walk outside and you see a black guy, is this guy going to shoot me? He's going to rob me. Let's be real. Because our government, our media has trained our minds that way. I ain't ever had no black guy rob me. I ever had a black guy shoot at me. None of that. But guess what? You think these things to a degree because of the media, the propaganda that gets pushed out, the crap they put out at Hollywood level. It makes it like all these black guys are drug dealers and gangsters.
That, and I hate to admit it, and I'm not saying jokes are the cause of it, but there's a level of, like, jokes play a factor, and, like, that's one of the first things you think of. Same thing with, like, food.
It's ingrained, man.
Food or drink options.
Look, this is you got to be real on these shows, man. People need to see being real and things for what they are. Here's the thing: say South Central, whatever you want to call Oklahoma. You talk about a black person, talks about Kool-Aid, watermelon, and fried chicken barbecue. I don't care what you say. Where did we get that at? Because here's the thing: I have not really been associated in Oklahoma. I was in the military. I ain't going to go. They ain't been invited to no black guy's house to go eat dinner or lunch. So where does it come from? I'm saying that because I'm trying to be real to the conversation. It's fueled by the media.
See, I feel disqualified.
And you can sit there and say, hate on the black people. My freaking drink, I get down some Kool-Aid too. Because I like it just as much as the next guy. Fried chicken, I am. Dude, you ain't got nothing on me. I will go for some fried chicken and watermelon. Keep that crap. I hate watermelon. Barbecue, same thing. So where does this stereotype come from? Media.
I'm about to sound like a hard R right now, and I mean retard.
Can't say that either.
But
because now we're talking about autistic kids.
I feel,
no, it's the truth because we can't even say things now.
I felt like if you say the word hard R, especially when you're talking about black people, you do need to clarify if you're talking about retard or that. But what I was going to say, I feel disqualified to even talk about this because what is collard greens? Isn't that like green beans?
Technically, I don't know, but here's my take on that too. You know, people don't know what's poke. Poke's like greens. It's like spinach.
Yeah.
You know, kind of the same category. I can't say I've
that
ever
might
had
be what it is.
like spinach, poke, collard greens. Again, I'm down.
Oh, man.
Put
I
that stuff
feel
in
like
some
such a
bacon grease
dummy.
and bacon. I'm down.
And I've heard it a million times. I've heard collard greens a million times. And I always have like a picture in my mind of like some type of salad. But
Ain't no
I
dang
still-
salad, man. That stuff's fried and bacon grease. It's fattening. It
Is
ain't
it?
good for you.
Really?
It's deadly, but it's good.
I feel like I've seen it before.
It's
It
good.
just, man, I look like such a
Well, you
dummy.
can't go down no
Yeah.
restaurant here. Now maybe in other places you can't go down here and order collard greens.
Tulsa, you probably could.
Your best thing, the best close thing. I'll take some spinach. I guess I don't even know. I think it's
Some
same.
cooked
But-
spinach.
But that's what I'm saying. But where do we get this at? I know people say he's saying this about us. You can call it what you want, but we get it from the media.
And
I
here's-
have to say it, man, because I'm telling you, I have not been exposed to this culturally, been around it like my whole life. I drive down the road. I drive out my driveway and drive down the road. My nearest neighbor's like 100 yards away. I don't see this down the road. I didn't just drive up on it. I ain't driving down the other side of the road and everybody's sitting on their porch drinking 40s. That crap is from the media.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what's influencing our generations.
And movies a little bit.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. It's Hollywood too. That's I guess maybe I kind of didn't categorize all into one.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely in the Hollywood too. The way they portray black people, it's a bad representation of black people, in my opinion. I'm not saying that there's not black people that's acted that way, but there's white people that's done it too. Why don't you portray them for what they are? Because right now in society, white people is like this freaking dictatorship.
The worst people on earth.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Look at who's running calling the shots here in most places. That's with government. It's some stupid white guy that don't know crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
And he's-
horrible.
And he's like, yo, we're bad.
And like the
Don't
black
elect
people are
me
saying,
again.
"Oh, we're treated unfairly." Look, dude, we right with you. We are right with you. We're getting crapped on too, just like you.
See-
it's bad across the board.
Here's my thing. I feel like we're divided by race, but united by racist jokes. Because there's some funny racist jokes out there. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there's some good ones out there.
Well, I think that there's things that can be said in the light of comedy that are appropriate. You can get away with saying certain things in comedy. I think that.
Unless the joke sucks.
Well, yeah, and I mean it depends. I mean, I've seen a guy make a racial joke and it just went south. A lot of people enjoyed it, but there were some people, and I don't like that, whatever. And I think that for me, depending on the comedic act, I would say depending on the tone, the light,
Everything.
whether I would be like, hey, dude, you took it too far. And then one particular one I'm referencing, once I say this, you're going to know, I think it was more about her stealing the spotlight of the show more so than trying to correct the issue.
Oh, David Lucas.
No, maybe. I don't remember. They
The
made a
fat
comment.
black guy.
What was the joke? Do you remember the joke?
Yeah,
I remember.
about George Floyd.
Yes, exactly. That's the one. I think it was more
I
about
would've shot
being.
that
Yeah, he said he
guy.
would have shot him instead. And hey, given certain circumstances, you can go back. I'm not going to say and go all into that again. That episode's recorded. Go back. You can find it. Yeah, no. I mean, I gave,
I thought you were talking about George Floyd for a second. I was like, oh,
no.
oh no.
You can go back and look at the comments made on that in regards to that episode. But but I'm saying is like that one. I think she wanted the attention. She got it. Anyway, said it like 4 or 5 times. Say it again. This is how we're affected by the media. Where does this go? Because it went way far from Donald Trump, but here we are. What's the media? How's the media influencing us today? That's what this is, because we're hyping up. Okay, he's convicted of 1 million felony charges, and he's this and this. Okay, well that's fine. Well, we didn't prosecute Hunter Biden for carrying cocaine into the White House, but nobody could prove it was him. Okay, it may be that one of the biggest security places in the whole United States of America, and we can't find out who carried a bag of cocaine in there. Okay,
we found-
look at stuff as like, oh, I have classified top secret information. I just happened to leave it in my garage in the car. No consequences. And this has happened even when he shouldn't have had classified top secret documents. Nothing's happened thus far. So do I give a crap what's going on with Donald Trump? No.
So how about the 8 confirmed shell companies as well that they were using to launder money from a Chinese energy company?
Who, from Trump?
No, Joe Biden.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. And well,
allegedly.
well, but that's the thing. Whether he's illegal or not, I'm not saying he should. If he did it and they can factually prove it, charge the man.
Yeah, that's.
But if you're going to charge the man, then let's clean house. Let this be the starting ground of everybody else.
Wouldn't that be nice?
You know,
That's what
because you
bothers me.
look at these freaking government officials, and I'll state for what it is, and Biden's one of them too. He's freaking lining his dang pockets with freaking Chinese foreign money. And on top of that, when you start dissecting that down into foreign governments, that would be Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, they're lining their money with the people, the veterans, and people that's died for this country. They're lining their freaking pockets at their expense.
Time after time after time. And that's what is ultimately the hardest thing to deal with in a situation like this. I'm okay with Donald Trump going to jail, whatever, if this was the first time a politician has ever paid a stripper, porn star, whatever, hooker, hush money to shut the hell up. But we all know that is definitely not.
Again,
the
who
case.
cares?
And
Who
so,
cares?
The question becomes is why him and why now?
Yeah.
And it's because this is the second to last thing they have. The only other option, and I hate Tucker Carlson for doing it. I don't hate him, but why would he ever throw this out there? This man literally said if they can't put him in jail, they're going to have to kill him.
Okay, well, maybe there'd be truth to that. Here's my take on what
And
you
that's
said.
bananas.
So if he supposedly paid a hooker off, how come they ain't charged Nancy Pelosi? How come they ain't doing it for Hillary Clinton buying people off? How come they ain't doing it for you?
Well,
You don't think that Biden had something to do with Hunter getting off the hook?
They fined Hillary Clinton $8,000.
Yeah, $8,000,
for
big
making the
deal.
Steele dossier that led to 4 years of people saying that Trump
I
and
got
Russia.
$8.5 million off that deal. You're going to be fined $8,000.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh no! Don't do
here,
that.
take it. I'll pay you twice.
Oh no!
Can I do that again? There's no consequences, but I've said that before, which goes into another
If you're
episode.
part of the game,
Is if you're the lower middle class people, you have different laws than higher class, and for higher, lower class, you have different set of laws than politicians.
yeah. I mean, there's levels to it. Yeah, you're allowed to do illegal things as long as.
If I had so many convictions on me, they'd be knocking on my door. You're not even knocking on my door; they'd be busting in my door. You're going to jail, federal charges, prison time.
Yeah.
You don't get to. Okay, well, we'll put this on the news. Oh, you don't want to go to jail there? Well, you can just bail out before you even get booked in. No, it's like they're going to call Joe. Hey, Joseph. Here today at noon, we're going to arrest you. So make sure you've got all your ducks in a row down at the sheriff's department. So once you hit the doors, you don't even have to be cuffed. You can just get bail before you even get arrested. Really?
Yeah.
That's how our criminal system
No,
works. Didn't know that.
Not anymore.
But that's what they did with Trump. I'm not trying to not necessarily talk crap on him. That's what they did.
Look, here's the thing. You're not Donald Trump, number one. And number two, you're just a conservative-leaning white guy who's a patriot / veteran of this country. That makes you dangerous, okay? So you need to be put on a watch list. And if
Which
we
is
see you
coming.
post anything dangerous on Facebook, like your displeasure with Starbucks again, we're taking your guns.
Yeah, the Little Mermaid that's nude. That's Starbucks on
Yeah,
the cup.
it is. It really
FYI,
is.
You know, so you
Yeah.
can catch that. I know it's kind of like poof, back over
But
here.
then
again.
I guess there's also something satanic about that as well. I don't know if you ever saw a conspiracy theory about the goddess that she represents. Something about like eating babies or something wild.
You know, no, I did hear something about that. Yeah, I do not know. I'm Googling it right now. Google never lies. And you know how I know that? Because I found it on the internet. The internet never lies either.
Well, Google said they don't lie.
Starbucks, what?
Starbucks
Starbucks.
logo eats kids.
Logo eats kids. Let's go there.
Yeah,
Let's see what we
it
get.
could probably.
Theme nights and promotion scheduled. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah,
Kids, wear your costumes at Tulsa, some Monterey FPC. I don't know what that
What
is
do you?
about.
What do you?
Hey, I typed in exactly what you
That's-
said.
it's probably you're probably looking at
I
sponsored
think
posts.
probably. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Either way, it's bananas.
It's creepy. It looks kind of like
Uh,
Medusa.
I've also seen that there's the number 666 in the logo. And I'm like, oh, what's going on there?
I don't know.
I mean, all of it. You can make anything out of
It's
anything.
admittedly delicious, evenly sinfully so. So their affiliation with abortion provided. Okay,
Whoa.
hey, I'm just reading what I'm reading. It's true because it's on the internet. Shut up. I don't know. I could probably sit here and try to find it. I just a lot of. Really, the Starbucks comes from Herman Melvin's story, Moby Dick. I don't know. That's so stupid. I don't care about Moby's dick.
yeah.
Who's Moby's dick?
Some big
Is that
old
like the giant
white
whale?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, whale of a tail.
No, people, I do know what Moby Dick is. A stupid dad joke there. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and look at it and try to keep figuring it out because I can't find the. I looks like Medusa. I don't know. They kept changing it where it's a freaking child eating. Whatever.
Allegedly, I heard, and I'll say this, we got to get out of here.
No, we don't have to
But,
do anything.
But I allegedly heard that the microplastics that are inside of a Starbucks container leak into your drink.
Well, yeah,
So,
but
like,
that.
the gist of it is your hot liquid gets so hot that it kind of like melts off the microplastics on the inside of
Yeah,
the
it's
cup.
government's way of causing cancer.
And yeah,
It's government
cancer.
conspiracy. You didn't know that?
Yeah.
That's old
Oh,
news.
yeah.
That's why people are dying all the time. So I don't go to Starbucks to get their chick drinks. I ain't paying $6 no dang coffee. I can drink my Folgers or something like that. Sorry, I'm not advertising for soldiers here or Folgers. I better say that right now. I'm getting sued over that. But I drink Folgers coffee. I like it.
The
I
Average.
prefer my. I can't even make this joke. I'm not even going to. I like my coffee dark. Put it that way. Yeah, we've all done that. So
Okay.
no, I think that. But there's the Starbucks saying the stuff melting off in there. But the thing of it is, there's stuff in pop cans. It's like that too. That's lined
Yeah. Oh yeah.
in the pop cans.
Yeah, they're killing us.
And you look how Coke. People that don't know, I'm sure you've seen this. Not look it up. Google it. I've done it personally, so I can tell you it's facts. Dump Coca-Cola on a car battery.
Oh.
And you see how just acidic, erosive it is, and much less it's sitting in a can. Like that stuff's going to break down, and you're drinking it.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not totally
good for you.
but I'm not going to name brands on cheese. Sliced cheese is the same thing. They have taken some of this stuff, and there's like microplastics in it, stuff like that. It's processed, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And so it's like, hey, we've got 1 pound of cheese. If we can put a cup of plastic in it as well, we can stretch that pound of cheese further.
Dang. Yeah. No. And
Hey, you got to run a business, man. You got to stretch those margins out.
well, and when the politicians are your shareholders, and it's shareholders over everything. Yeah. it
It's
starts
just
to
a
make
problem.
sense.
I mean, you're sitting there taking a crap, and you crap out a plastic Dixie cup. You got issues.
Yeah. You
Like, yep, I ate too much Starbucks.
I guess.
Drink too much of that coffee.
Other than that,
You can't
the
think
last
straight
thing,
now.
No, the last thing I did want to say before we close, because I've tried doing this twice now, but Red Lobster did not close because of the endless shrimp.
Yeah, that's so stupid.
It was
did they
not
close?
that. They're closing, yeah. And as well as several other chains. I can't even think of all of them, but it's several chains.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't read into it, but what's your? I have mine. I was going to say. So, what's your reason? Why did they close them?
So it's called vulture capitalism, and basically the gist of it is a chain like Red Lobster gets purchased
Hello.
by some hedge fund company, whatever, and they divide up the assets and sell it off to other companies, usually their friends, and then they force the franchisee owners to pay the new owners of the property higher rent, and then in addition to that, they increase the cost of the fees, etc. And so they're just stealing money from franchise owners before they ultimately
Yeah. So
cut that
I
in.
kind of say that plus inflation.
a
and-
little bit, yeah.
Well, because you look at it's $10 this plate, whatever it was. Then
20.
you got what I'm saying from what it was to what it is. I don't know if it only went $2 or $3 or $5, $10, whatever it raised to, but you've got this cost that's got to be dispersed across several boards because now you have this fisherman, the price of fuel are up. Everybody wants more than minimum wage now, so you got to pay your employees a little bit more, and then so that the price of that drives that shrimp or lobster or whatever, whether it be $1 a pound, whatever it equates out to be. You have that aspect of it, and then the trucking now has got astronomically higher. So now you have another 20 or 30 cents added on, $1. So it just keeps getting passed, and ultimately what it comes down to is the end person buying it. They're having to pay the price for our government's mistakes yet again. Same thing I said earlier. All this stuff, the inflation. Brandon's not the best president. Or Biden, sorry. Need to vote him out.
Let's go.
So let's go, Brandon. Yeah, that's where that came from. In case you missed that. No, it's coming from them all the way down. And we've talked about this before. The minimum wage. We can't raise minimum wage, people. Y'all can't even afford off the crap right now. Like, but if we have minimum wage, we can. No, you can't, because it's going to drive everything else even freaking higher, and your minimum wage is going to be basically what it's worth now because everything is going to increase. It's the nature of the beast, And there's ways to deal with this. If the government would actually start handling money appropriately, that's your problem. If they started handling money appropriately.
Well, or I would say better regulating how companies are able to finagle their finances to prioritize profits over continuity of business and also the employees who make that business run in the first place.
Right.
The really where I would wrap it up with is saying that be careful, America. Applebee's is going, Red Lobster's going, I think Cracker Barrel is. I think Twin Peaks is gone. If not, they will be.
What about McDonald's?
They could be. They've been having a big slump. Walmart's kicking their butts. Imagine that with their MREs.
What?
Meals ready to eat.
Okay, what's it? Okay, I'm confused where Walmart and McDonald's are competing on that level.
Okay, so what the competition is Americans' budgets have been drastically reduced because of inflation, etc. So as a result, they are having to choose, is it cheaper to go and get something to eat at the restaurant, McDonald's, or to go to Walmart and pick up a rotisserie chicken?
Okay. Well, you're talking to a dang Marine here. You can't start, and people out here in the civilian world versus military world are gonna know why it's confused. That's not a dang MRE.
I know.
MRE comes in a freaking brown crap bag. Yeah. He dumps some water in it, and it supposedly freaking heats up, and then comes to this crap that makes you constipated. That's an MRE. That's why it's confused. Like, what are you talking about?
I know.
That's not the crap you get at McDonald's. McDonald's opposite. You go to McDonald's and eat, you're going to be crapping for a week.
Well, those aren't MREs. That's a different thing. That's fast food.
Yes. People that are watching, you're in the military, you know what I'm talking about. No matter what branch you're from, you know what I'm talking about.
I'm saying Walmart has MREs because they have uncooked food, which is basically everything in the store.
Then a dang MRE.
And then they got...
That ain't an MRE?
Chicken wings... And
no, that might be canned food.
Chicken.
That might be box crap.
Yeah.
And I would love to have canned
Popcorn
food and box crap.
Chicken.
Not sitting out there in a dang sandbox getting shot at, and I had to eat my crap out of a plastic bag.
Well, this is
that makes you constipated. I don't care if you man. That's an MRE.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Well,
I tried to get you one. I don't have one. I didn't keep a souvenir.
Yeah, thanks, Dad.
Yeah. They probably still eat it. It's only 20 years ago.
No. But either way, it's...
Imagine that. You open this thing. Here, kid, eat this. Where'd that come? I had that back whenever I was in Vietnam.
Yeah, okay.
It's only 30 years old, man.
Yeah,
come on,
it's probably
eat it.
Still edible.
I don't know what the shelf life... This is a long time, dude.
Well, your wedding cake was an MRE.
Man, my mother-in-law, I love her, but that was bad.
Yeah, that was insane.
It's just old tradition. Okay, so we always ask people... try to get some engagement. So I'm going to ask this to the public because I've never heard of this. So the top of your cake, you don't eat it. You put it in the freezer and eat it on your 1-year anniversary. Okay, so if anybody missed that, here's the question. Top of your wedding cake, or the big whatever, you take that off. You don't even touch it. You don't cut it, nothing. You stick it in the freezer and you eat it on your 1-year anniversary for good luck, whatever. Has anybody ever heard of that? Because I've never heard of that.
I kind of did. But I didn't pay attention.
My mother-in-law gave me this thing. I was like, yeah, it's awesome. And I came home like, here, puppy. I couldn't eat.
But you gotta say how old this thing was.
Well, it was older than a year when
old?
I got it. It was several years.
I thought it was like a decade.
It's sat in there for a while. It didn't look bad.
Yeah, I know.
I wasn't eating it.
Yeah.
I mean,
for a
it was
frozen
froze.
cake,
I mean, so I'm sure to some degree, but I mean, like,
kind of like bread.
everybody has like this lifespan on frozen food and canned foods. Like, you know, if something's in a can, it expires, say, January 1st, I'm not opposed to eating it later. It's not going to hurt you. I wouldn't know if I'd eat it 30, 40 years later, but, you know, like, I've had stuff in there. It's expired. Who cares? You know, same thing with some box stuff. Okay. MREs, same way. But, I don't know, a 5-year-old cake, dude.
Yeah, that's bad. That's real bad.
I
don't
ain't
know.
touching that. So anyway, if anybody's
I didn't
gets to
keep
this part
mine.
of the episode and actually gives a crap, let me know. Is eating a year-old cake on your anniversary a thing? Have you ever heard about that before? Because I would like to know. Might even do a survey on that. I don't know. Never heard of it. I'd like to know. Give me your
Yeah.
feedback.
Let's get the poll going.
Whoa! Somebody's calling me from Miami, Oklahoma. Let's take the call. I'm really. Hello. I guarantee it's a spam call. Wait for it. They won't even talk to me. Hey, yeah, you're speaking with Joseph. You're on the air. What can I do for you?
Hi, Joseph. I was calling regarding a personal loan offer we had sent you
Ooh, personal loan.
at a promotional interest rate of 4.99%.
Get you where you can hear you here. Okay, what do I got to do for this
Hello?
loan? I'm here. I'm listening.
I just need to verify a few things for your pre-approval, which will only take a few minutes to see if you meet the requirements, all right?
Well, I am broken without a job. Do I still meet the requirements for that?
I'll make a note of that for you. Thank you for taking the call, Joseph. Do have a great day today.
Well, there you go, people. When people's asking for money, see, there you go. That's all you got to do.
What?
Tell them I'm broke. I don't have any money. There you go.
It's that easy.
There you go. So now you have a episode on how to do a prank caller. I can't believe they call. I had to take the call.
Yeah, I know.
I had to put it
I saw
online.
it.
So
I'm like, what is this?
let's go for it.
All right. Well, either way, thank you all for watching. I'm definitely going to clip that. And then we're going to make it seem like people are calling into the show.
Try to give me a loan at 4%.
Yeah. Either way, thank you all for listening. Have a great night or day.